Hi, I'm Adam with We Light Up the Night, and today we're going to talk about how to troubleshoot and repair television sets. One of the first things I'd look for in any electronic setup is make sure that you have good electrical power into your device. So I would take maybe a lamp or another simple electronic device and plug it in the same outlet as your TV. Make sure that you have electricity coming out of that outlet. You'd then want to look at the electrical cord going into your television set and just make sure that there are no breaks in it, that an animal hasn't chewed through it, that it's solid and in good condition. After that, there's not a lot else to troubleshoot outside of the TV, certainly for most new televisions. So I've gone ahead and I have removed all of the screws from the outer case of this set, and we're just going to pop the bezel off here and open it up so that we can take a look at some of the components that are inside. So we have a pretty simple circuit layout inside here. This piece, of course, is our liquid crystal display, and the one thing that is worth mentioning here on the LCD is we have these wires coming off at the sides here, thin wires, 2 conductors each. These connect to the compact fluorescent tubes. These tubes are just like miniature light bulbs that provide all of the illumination and intensity for the light that shines through the screen. So if you happen to notice that all of a sudden you have no picture, but if you lean very, very close to the TV and you look very, very carefully, you'll see that there's actually picture there. There's just no light source behind it. Then you likely have a problem with your compact fluorescent tubes or what we call the backlight inverter. You could check and make sure that these cords aren't pinched or damaged in any way, and then you can make sure that these connectors actually make it all the way back onto the circuit board here and are firmly in place and seated in the connections on the circuit board, or again the backlight inverter. So I'm just going to reconnect one of these here. So you can see where that goes. In extreme cases, the backlight inverter and power supply piece that you see here could be replaced in its entirety. An easy way to get one of these components is, say for example, somebody dropped their television set or did something to crack their display. Well, now they've got a bad display, but the electronic components inside are still fully functional. So you might be able to find a used or broken display online very inexpensively that still has some of the working electronic components inside that you need, and then you could trade out the working and non-working parts. We'll also check here in the power supply area where we would likely have a fuse. In this particular TV, it's probably going to be underneath this metal here, but there's frequently a fuse that we could change out. Then we'll look at the connections to the LCD display itself. This is a connector for the ribbon cable here, and this is the ribbon cable coming off the LCD here. This ribbon will slide into the connector that's along this card, and if the TV gets shaken or moved or a great amount of force applied to it, it can sometimes knock that connection loose. So we'll want to make sure that this piece is firmly seated in its connector and look for any tears in the ribbon cable or anything that looks like it may be broken or shorting out. Very common. A lot of these parts can be ordered online at discounted prices, or if you're lucky, you can find a TV that may have one broken part but other parts inside that are still working, and you might get lucky and find that the part that's broken in someone else's TV is different from the part that you need. So they've got a bad screen and you've got a bad power supply. You might be able to swap some of those parts out to get one of those sets working. Thanks for watching. I'm Adam with We Light Up the Night, and this has been how to troubleshoot and repair your television set.